little bit more about myself. I think there's like a misunderstanding of my age. First of all, I'm 44 years old. That means I have lived an extensive life, growing up in 5 different countries, and my name is actually Indonesian, not Filipino. I don't know why people assume it's Filipino. I've never lived in the Philippines. I've lived in Indonesia as a child. And yeah, I feel as if today is a good day to just talk about my personal background and why I'm on YouTube in the first place and all of those things in between. So I feel like, when I'm doing stuff and being proactive in being constructive, it's a little hard to answer questions. So this is like the answer question day in regards to, I don't know if you have questions about the music or if you have questions about my background or my upbringing. I've made a whole video on it as well. So I can always post like the who am I video and my personal background and my upbringing. So let's start from the beginning. Nobody's here at the moment, but that's okay. So I'm 44 years old. I'm not 25. I'm not 32. I'm not 19. I'm not 18. I am 44, meaning I have lived many, 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 many different lives. And this is the stage where most people have kids and are married, and I am married. I just don't have kids. I have 2 fur babies instead of children. And during the time of, so basically I've lived in 5 different countries. I grew up in Indonesia as a child. My dad was a US diplomat, if that helps. So almost like a military kid, we used to travel every 4 years. And every 4 years we'd have to move countries with the family, obviously, and then different schools and different environments and different cultures and different backgrounds. So it's never been a one place type of situation for me. I've never lived in one country my whole life. I think this is the longest I've actually lived in one country for an extensive amount of time. I wear this harness because I am older. I don't have the tiny waist that I used to have as a child, or not as a child, as a younger person. As a child, I was also, I was a horse rider. I did a lot of swimming. I was very, very big into athletics. And I broke my leg fairly recently, maybe about 3 years ago. So my activities and movements in my body are not as solid as they used to be when I was younger. So when you have an injury in your body changes, and it's a little hard to get back to the way it used to, which is why I wear my harness. I know somebody was asking me, so why are you wearing this crazy thing? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm allowed to. Second of all, it doesn't really matter what people think of my style. It's who I am and my personal style. This is who I am. And I'm also doing fashion. So Poshmark doesn't complain about what I wear. I do whatever. I work from home. I'm allowed to choose how I dress. If it looks a little strange to people, that's okay, maybe because you're younger. And I do realize a lot of the people that are coming on here might be a little bit younger and not necessarily older, so they don't necessarily understand the transition of your body as you get older. So as you get older, your body changes. That's just how it is. And when your lifestyle changes, things start to happen too. Okay, so I've talked about my body shape. Okay, why I wear this thing. Okay, I'm a little bit older. I'm not prepared to take it off. I'm trying to lose weight. I keep going back and forth. It's a little frustrating because my leg injury is right at the ankle. So when you're running, or I can't run anymore, so when you're exercising, you put a lot of strain in your leg, this part over here. And that's where my injury is, my leg, this lower part of the leg with my ankle. I'll even I have a clip of my, it's a rod between, it's a 17-inch rod with 3 nails. So it's an interesting experience being injured like this. I feel like I'm a soldier. I've kind of survived the battlefield, sort of type of thing. So that's my personal upbringing, okay? I'm going to put some music in the background. I'm going to play my music because I realize that when you play music in the background, it cannot be anybody else's music, or else you get flagged for using other people's music. So I am just going to get on here and put my SoundCloud on. And hopefully it works. Why do we have to start over again? I don't know here, SoundCloud. Okay. I know they're always wanting me to upgrade, but I've not upgraded at all, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so I'm gonna just play some of my stuff in the background. Okay. So there's a purpose for me to make my own music. I don't get flagged. So I'm talking today about my background. I think a lot of people think that I'm like 20 or 21. I'm actually 44. So I'm an older person. I might look a little young, I don't know. But I have an injury. And because of my injury, I have to wear like a harness. Not a harness, a waist trainer. And people have actually questioned it. So my injury is on my leg and my ankle, meaning when I exercise, I cannot do the things I used to. So my body has changed extensively to where it's not a situation where I can necessarily go back to where I used to. My name is Cinta. This is my music in the background I produced. I'm just putting that in the background. And my name is Indonesian. It's not even an American name. It's an Asian name. I grew up overseas. I grew up in Indonesia for 2 years. I grew up in South Africa for about 5 years. My mom is South African. My dad's American. I've lived around the world. I lived in Japan. So I've had to start over many different times. Does not mean to say that I haven't been successful in certain things. I have had exhibitions. I have done performances. I've just slowed down in my lifestyle since I've gotten older. So, I just want people to be aware that I'm not a 22-year-old. I'm an older lady who's married. Okay? And you're listening to the music that I've produced. And it's important for people to, it's one thing, and I've had people say some very interesting things on this platform. Some people have said, maybe one day you'll be successful. I'm like, well, I probably have been successful, but you might not know me. And why are you wearing this outfit? And I'm like, well, I'm allowed to choose how I dress. And second of all, I am older. So I've been a little, I've sort of been discouraged by certain things people have said recently. It's very condescending as to how people perceive you. I don't have to be a certain way. I can be myself on the spaces I choose and select. I've built my own space. I bought my own equipment. I can now choose, I'm not coming out of high school. I'm not coming out of college. I've graduated many years ago, meaning I have certificates to prove that I have done all of these things. I've taught in places. I've taught in music schools. I've taught in art education places. I've molded the two together. I've worked in the fashion industry. So I think it's okay for me to say that I feel confident about what I can do and what I'm capable of offering people. And the significance of my background makes me a type of person that's sensitive towards other people growing up in different countries. I've lived in 5 different countries. I am 44. I keep repeating this, but I'm not a 3. Yeah, I'm 44. And if people don't like it, that's their problem, okay? And I feel as if there's a thing in the arts where you have to look and be approved by people to be a certain way and a certain style. Now, I produce my own music. That means I don't need to be around other musicians to make my own music. This is all done on my software. I don't play guitar, but I've started kind of fiddling with guitar. I was in the process of working on the Ghostbusters track just the other day. This is all the stuff I've produced. You can hear different variations. I've done a couple of albums of my own. Okay, so I don't play guitar, but I did work at Guitar Center, meaning I was surrounded by guitarists. And when I left, they gave me this guitar and I had to repair it. So in the back, I had to kind of fix it in a way that wouldn't destroy the bend. Okay, so this I repaired and I put resin on it to repair it. And it works just fine. Okay, so I was busy working on, just to show you that this is a start, I'm going to start doing a Ghostbusters. But today is a talk through day. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not here to, I've also had people ask me if I need help for boosting, and I'm like, I don't need help for boosting. I'm building it up the way I feel I can build it up. I prefer production versus being an actual singer, and I can sing, but I can't sing like stage sing. So, I come from a background of musicians and artists. So if people want to learn how to produce music or compositions or guitar, garage band and all that stuff, this is what I'm going to be teaching. I also do art, so I teach art as well. And this space is going to be used for various things. And that's how I see it right now. So what you're hearing in the background is my music. If you have any questions, please ask. When I start, I'll probably have a video later on today. This is just an introduction to what I'm going to do for the video. But I do feel as if it's important to put out that I am not 20. I obviously look a little bit older because I am. I'm allowed to dress away because I'm not a conservative. I'm not a conservative teacher. And I'm not going to sit there having people tell me how to dress. So I'm dressing the way I want to dress. And as a Poshmark ambassador / seller or whatever, which is the fashion side, they don't tell me what I should or shouldn't wear, right? Because I'm not seeing the people who are buying my products. They're buying the products online and then I send it over and that's the end of that. Or they watch me on my live shows on Poshmark. Tomorrow I'm supposed to do Poshmark Live. So I dabble in a few areas, and I feel as if it's important that people understand that, after you hit like 23, 24, your body changes, and that's just how it is. So I've accepted it, and if people are having a problem with me wearing the waist trainer, that is the problem on their side. So I'm wearing this, and I don't care what other people say. This is how I dress. Okay? And that's what it is. I hold it in. I've tried my best to exercise, but the exercise doesn't always help as much as it used to. Okay. So this is my music. And then I think yesterday I was doing a Ghostbusters. I was starting up a Ghostbusters kind of variation. Let me just see what's going on here. Yeah. So these are just pieces that I've done from before. These are almost final products, right? I don't post them up on Spotify because I feel something's going up with Spotify, so I'm kind of leaving that space alone. SoundCloud has always been my go-to. I really need to get back into putting my stuff up there once I feel more comfortable. And obviously YouTube is a good place for music, so you can always upload some music on Amazon Music, and then Amazon is connected to YouTube, and then everything is connected, right? I mean, iTunes, yeah, once you have it on iTunes, then it goes to Amazon, and so it all interlinks with CD Baby. Okay, so that's how it's dispersed in various places if you're wanting to do that. But lately, I think producing and doing albums and music it's not easy, and I know a lot of people in the music industry who have performed with people at the top. They're like, I don't think they necessarily focus on their own music. They go out and they make money with other musicians who are successful, and that's how they generate their music. Sometimes you have to give up something that you enjoy doing to earn money in the music industry with other people for their particular purpose, right? So that's how musicians are doing it. My sister's performing in Cape Town. She's doing pretty well. She's a singer. This is a talk through day. I'm not really every time I'm busy, people are like asking me questions. So I'm looking at the screen right now, and if people have questions to ask me, now is the time, okay? Just reminding people, I am not 23, I am not 24, I am 44 years old. I'm an older woman. I'm sure you can see it. I look older. It's not an uncommon thing, and I'm not prepared to do any more dyeing of my hair. Look at this. I've destroyed my hair. So I'm growing my hair out. I'm not going all colorful right now. This is called growing my hair out. Okay, it's thinned out dramatically. And before, in other videos, I was always like bleaching my hair and all that stuff, but I'm giving it a rest now. So that's what this is, if you have any questions and I'm not busy doing something, then this is the time to ask me questions. Okay, I've just had some pretty weird comments that have happened in regards to the way I look or how I dress, and I'm speaking up about it. I think it's time to actually talk to people about what's going on here. Okay, I work for myself. I am not hired by anybody. Poshmark is an app, right? So the app, you set up your own Poshmark page, which is like a website. And through Poshmark, they give you the security to know that you're not going to get scammed or taken for a ride, because there are things that Poshmark has interlocked and stabilized on their platform to help people make money with items or stocks or whatever it is that they have. So that it's, you can work for Poshmark, but I'm working as an independent on the Poshmark app. That's what that is, okay? And this is my own studio. This is nobody else's space. I put the space together. It's not quite done yet, you can see. Okay, I have like keyboards here and all that stuff. The music that you're listening to in the background is my stuff, okay? I just did the soundproofing the other day, okay? It's not a huge space. The other section of the space is like where the fashion stuff is. There's clothing and mannequins and all those things. So I've split the room in two places, in two areas. Okay, so I do make things, and then I do also kind of do the music. Okay, I don't have people working for me. This is me. I'm doing everything. Okay? We're gonna skip that song because there are some interesting... I'm gonna put this on. Okay. So I'm giving you guys a taste of the music that I've already completed. These are, I call this the final, like this is my album, right? This is the stuff that I produced already. This is on SoundCloud. I had it on actual CDs before, like, yeah, other things came about. These are much older pieces. So I've been doing production since 1997 when I lived in Tokyo. So I'm not just coming in with a skill that, because it's like a popular thing now in the music industry as something, but it's definitely something I've been working on since I was, since I was 17, 18. So I'm 44 now. I'm definitely getting older. There's no question about it. And as a female, it's not easy to break even in the industry. So I have multiple skills, meaning it's important to diversify your skills within the arts. Okay, this is like part of the arts. And I know that people are interested in the craft side of things. I can see that the internet is going bananas over production, like producing things, like making things and drawing and sketching. But I think it's just as important to understand, like, you don't have to just do you don't have to just paint. You don't have to just be an artist. Okay, you can have multiple skills, and I'm trying to open that barrier of, people assuming that you can only be one type of thing. It's not the case. And I think if you're starting a business, I don't know if everybody does that, but if you're starting a business, you have to have those many different skills so that you can put it together. I built my own websites. Let me see if I can get hold on, I'll be right back. Let me get put this here. 2 seconds. Just want to bring my website stuff out. And I think it's important for people to know, like when you're doing music, and the reason why this is important for me to just have my own production is because it's not going to get flagged if I'm on any of the platforms, because I've produced it myself. There is nobody that has made something that has the same. They have, there's music out there that sounds similar, but the way it's constructed is different than anything else that anybody has done. So that is why it's in the background. And with my art degree and graphic design skills, I have been able to put together my own websites. So I built the company that I've registered from ground zero. And I think that is like an important factor. People need to understand that when you're building a business, you have to build things from ground zero by yourself. But you can hire people, but that could also cost you money, right? I'm going onto my websites. Okay, so this is my first one that I did, which was constructed on the layouts of it, which was constructed on WordPress. Okay, and WordPress it's one of the first ones where you didn't have to be like a web developer to actually develop it. They created the codes in the back, so you can actually kind of work around the coding that they've constructed for you. So this is one of my websites. I'm just showing people who I am and what I do today. And I'm not 25, I am 44 years old. Okay? I just want people to know that if they come onto my page, you're talking to a grown-up, not a kid. Okay? I think some people get it all wrong. I might look a certain way, but okay, and that's my artwork. So I paint as well. Okay? I like my cards. I do watercolors. Okay. I think I just showed my Superman, which is cool. I have a children's book. Okay. Why is this cancel? No, I don't want that search. I want... Oh, come on. Menu. Home. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm just showing... This is my logo. I designed the logo myself, did it digitally. That's Japanese, which means nomadics, which is just written in katakana, which is like the Western words. I lived in Japan for like 9 years. Let me see if I can get through to my next. So I do a lot of YouTube lives, older posts, whatnot t-shirts, whatnot. Okay, so this is one of the sites. I'm going to my newer site, which is done on, let me just get onto it, which is done on Wix. I think Wix, the layout is better. Okay, so, and then on the sides, so I've kind of put these all together myself. So I have everything to show for my skills. Okay, I've built everything up on my own. Okay. And then you can go into my Poshmark or resume over there. I had an article at the Smithsonian for my art. I take my own photographs. I'm my own photographer. I have worked and done photographs for others as well in the past. I studied photography. So I've done everything under the sun within the arts. I don't think that there is a field within the arts that I haven't kind of touched base on. I'm just talking about like why I'm here in the first place and my personal background. So it's not just music. And if it was just music, not all musicians understand how to build. So I learned how to build through my art degree. Okay? The music you're listening to in the background is what I produced on Logic. And today we're just going through a discussion on my background and stating the fact that I do have a permanent injury, which is why I wear the harness, the waist trainer. It's permanent. It means it's far more serious than it should have been. Let me see if I can find a picture. It was just my luck that I happened to slip on ice that day, and sure enough, and that's my injury. Okay, so I have a leg injury. That's the rod that I have on my leg. And the reason why I wear my waist trainer is because I cannot get back to the body shape that I used to be because of this. Look at that, it's on my ankle and through my knee, okay? So I thought I should just bring it up to explain that this is why you know, my situation. Okay, so if other people ask, they can revert back to this thing here, okay? That means I had to learn how to walk again. It took me a whole year to really get that together. So I'm from a recovery stage. I'm recovering. Okay, I'm recovering. I have 2 pants on right now. And the injury, as you can see, is from my knee. It's from my knee to my ankle. This is a small picture, but just imagine what a leg size is, okay? That's a 17-inch rod, okay? Not as if it's just to remind people that, you know, you got to be careful, and as you get older, your bones don't recover or heal as well as they would in the past. So today was a quick talk. Later on, I'm going to have a more descriptive video, but I want to pop my head in and say hello if people are in here. And I know it's spring break, so everybody's on spring break. And I'm just introducing myself. I'm introducing myself to those who don't know me, and to tell people not to spam me with questions on, like, I have a long history. I mean, being 44 years old, that means I've lived a life, many, many different lives. I don't have to have the same life as everybody else. I've lived a different way, and I've lived Like, I've lived a diplomatic lifestyle and I've lived a commoner, more normal background, okay? So there are people, like, we lived with ambassadors, meaning, like, famous people would be around our, like, living situations when we were kids. Because that's what my dad's job was, okay? So that's not, like, you live two different worlds or many different worlds depending on the circumstances you're positioned in. And now I'm still in recovery stage. I've gained a little bit more weight and I have to lose the weight again. And I have an injury in my leg, so the injury is permanent. It's like a tattoo forever. Actually, yeah. So that's where I am right now. So I'm just the music you're hearing in the background is my track. Okay. So I'm just playing stuff in the background of mine while I'm talking because it's hard to talk and try to like answer questions, but today nobody's answering questions, so we're asking questions. Okay? So it's just an introduction of things that I've already done. But this particular channel is going to be focused on the music side of things, a bit of fashion, a bit of art, because these are all the fields that I do as well. Okay? But give you some time to listen to the tracks that I've done. I produced this track. Okay, so I've been working on production for this channel. Okay, just to listen to the background, just listen to it. And on many of occasions, I've been like working through like how to develop it. This is the final product, okay? So you can hear it. And I made this in 12 years ago. That's a very old track. 12 years ago, can you believe that? Okay, so just to hear my stuff, okay, now I'm going to get into a video so I can edit and all that stuff with more description. So I just wanted to let people know, okay, who I am and my background and the music that I've completed. Very, very old tracks that I've done. So do I know how and what I'm doing? Yes, most likely I do. And I wouldn't be doing this on my own if I didn't know what's going on, okay? So once again, thanks for popping over for the morning, 12 o'clock noonish live. I'm going to try to do the lives more like daily. If I don't make it, most likely it's because I'm busy doing other stuff. Thank you for popping over. I'm going to do a video with the editings and all that stuff now. But I wanted to bring up the subject of my background, why my name is Indonesian, how old I am, all of these things, because I think people are questioning, like, what's going on here? So I'm answering the questions. And once again, an injury causes your body to change. And you will never, after something like this, you will never be the same again, okay? So just to show you, that is a real, that's my leg now, okay? You might not see it from the outside, but it's definitely there. But there's the proof, okay? And that is why I wear this waist trainer, because I can't, my body just doesn't go back to the way it used to because of the exercise that some of the exercises I cannot do anymore. Okay, thank you again for popping over, much appreciated, and I'll speak to you guys later.